Concept and construct. What is a concept? A concept is an abstract idea, plan, or invention in mind. The success of research depends upon how clearly we conceptualize. So concept here, they are just ideas about the world around us, how we see them. They are intangible, means we cannot touch them or feel them. So concept, they are an attempt to explain something. For example, I use the word dog. So what comes in my mind after I use the word dog is our concept. Like the word which came in my mind after I used the word dog are four-legged animal or a man's best friend. Another example is another example is a tree. So what comes in my mind after I use the word tree? So those things which come in my mind after I use a certain object, they are called concept. Like for tree, I see, I can imagine tall, green, fresh air. Those are the concept. So concept are nothing, but they are just ideas about the world around us. Whatever concept that we use should be well understood by the readers. So concept should be clear and understandable so that the readers can understand our concept and our view easily. Construct. Constructs are mental abstraction that we use to express the ideas, people, organization, events, or objects that we are interested in. It is an abstract idea, same like the concept, inferred from specific instances that are thought to be related. Constructs are complex, not directly observable, we cannot see them, but indirectly observable through a collection of repeated events. So, here, construct. It exists. Construct are something that exists in human brain and are not directly observable. For example, Raju is smart. But how can we say that Raju is smart? We can say by the way he carries himself, by the way he speaks, by the way he addresses issues, we can say that Raju is smart. Or if someone is anxious, like if someone is anxious, what behavior we see in him, like trembling, restless, or his body movement. So they are they are not directly observable, but indirectly observable through a collection of repeated events. So if I am happy, so through my body language, I can show the people that I am happy. So we cannot touch happy. We cannot uh, see happiness, but we can see through the body language of that particular person we are observing. So that is a construct. It is a mental abstraction that we use to express the ideas. Variable. It is something that has a quality. Example curiosity, or quantity, example temperature, that varies. By the meaning that varies, it means that it changes, it is not fixed. So variables are created. They are created by developing the construct into a measurable form so we can measure. Here there are two types of variable, dependent variable, it is effect, and the independent variable, the cause. So dependent variable, it depends on it depends or relies on something to occur. So like for it to occur, for it to happen, it depends on something. So what does a dependent variable depends upon? It depends upon independent variable. Independent variable is the variable that is manipulated or controlled by the researcher to influence dependent variable. So example, exercise will cause you to lose weight. Here, exercise is the independent variable, the cause, and losing weight is the dependent variable, the effect. Smoking cigarettes causes cancer. Smoking here is the independent variable, the cause, and the cancer here is the dependent variable, the effect. Hypothesis. Hypotheses are tentative intelligent guesses as to the solution of the problem. A hypothesis is an assumption about relations between variables. In simple terms, we can say that a hypothesis is a tentative, that is uncertain, solution to a problem. It is clearly based on assumptions or our own knowledge. Why is it tentative? It is because we are going to test on our research. We are going to test that on our research. Suppose, suppose for example, my problem is on gender discrimination in rural areas. So after some literature review, I come up with a hypothesis, which is based on my own knowledge. It may be true or it may be false. And this hypothesis, which I came up with, it has insufficient evidence. So after I formulate a hypothesis, then only I go to the field and try to prove my hypothesis. And this may result into two things: null hypothesis or alternative hypothesis. If it is a null hypothesis, I stop my research right there, and if it's an alternative hypothesis, I approve my hypothesis and I can further continue with my research. So accordingly, there are two types of hypothesis: null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis. Null hypothesis: there is no statistical significance between the two variables. An alternative hypothesis is the opposite of the null hypothesis. There is statistical significance between the two variables. Null hypothesis: no relationship exists between the two variables being compared. For example, a relationship between a family's income and expenditure on recreation. Here there are two variables, family and expenditure. So family is the independent variable and expenditure is the dependent variable. So if there is no relationship, if the if I find out that there is no relationship between a family's income and expenditure on recreation, if there is no significance between the two variables there, then it's a null hypothesis. But if there is a relationship, if there is a relationship between a family's income and expenditure on recreation, then it is called an alternative hypothesis. There is a relationship between those two variables. Theories. Theories are explanations of a natural or social behavior, event, or phenomenon. They are just the explanations of the natural settings or of the social behavior. We explain in a full manner. Theories, it simplifies reality. So it makes us easy to understand the reality, helps us to select facts, organize the facts, allow us to develop whole argument. Theories should explain why things happen rather than just describe or predict. So theories uh, theories are formulated to explain and understand phenomena. Uh, a theory is a systematic explanation for the observations that relate to a particular aspect of life. You must review course readings and pertinent research studies for theories and analytic models that are relevant to the research problem you are investigating. Here, a researcher for a researcher to write a theory, we should not write it blindly, or it is not based on our imagination. Uh, they are built upon collected facts and collected facts. So uh, theories are they are solidly based upon evidence. So through our evidence and through many readings and many observations, we come up to some facts. So we explain those facts. Those are called theories. It's simply an explanation of natural or of a social behavior. Operational definition. An operational definition is how we decide to measure our variables. Measurement of variables is an integral part of research. Uh, Operational definition is often conceptual, descriptive, and consequently imprecise. It defines how a term, word, or phrase is used when it is applied in a specific context. An operational definition must be valid and reliable. It guides what type of data we are looking for. So here, operational definition, it is something you can measure or how you define your term for your research. It is based upon it is based upon um, how you it's based upon like it's based upon me how I define my definition is or it is based upon you how you define your definition. Defining a concept in terms of how you plan to measure that concept. For example, some people may define exercise as depression or sadness. I define it as running or uh, exercise as running, sweating, or a healthy life. Like some variables, they are easy to measure, like weight, height, they are easy to measure and we can put it in a numerical form. But we cannot measure happiness or we cannot measure sadness. But uh, so there is different terms for different people to measure happiness. So some people may define happiness as smiling every time. So I can define happiness as uh, uh, singing, happiness as singing or dancing, and some other people may define happiness as other things. So uh, it is not a definition given in the dictionary, but it is something we define through our mindset, through what we uh, understand that particular term. That's called operational definition. So my conclusion uh, is that a research, social research, is a scientific and a systematic search for various information about a specific topic to gain knowledge and to study human behavior so that we can find a solution for it. A research is not based on our imagination and we cannot just blindly write a research. It is based on observations and experiments. To write a research, we must follow these steps. We cannot make research which has no evidence. It will not be accepted. So we give our idea, and later we give our own ideas. If you want to write a research, we give our own ideas. So we later collect information about that idea, whether there is a relation between those two variables, and we set up to continue if there is a relation and if we think that there is enough evidence for us to continue our research, we go with the research, and then we on the theory part we explain further, we explain in detail about our research topic, we explain everything. That is how that is the elements of a social research. So these are my references. Thank you.